Hey guys, I'm running a little late today, so I apologize about that. My Facebook pages manager, the one that I do these lives on, decided that it needed to update immediately when I was trying to go live earlier. So sorry about that. Well, let's see if anybody jumps on today. Ooh. Let's see. I don't know. So welcome to day 3, everybody. I am cold, as you could probably tell, which is why I'm doing this. It is now like 34 degrees outside, I think, in South Texas, which to us is like below freezing. So I'm super cold, and in fact, it's supposed to get even colder tonight. Like I think it's supposed to get in like the lower 30s to 20s, and everybody in South Texas is freaking out a little bit. So if you're watching me and you're up north, please don't call me a sissy. I'm sure our summers are brutal to y'all, and winter is brutal to us. So yeah, there you go. But so today, if you have jumped on to my list, which congratulations if you have, I'm excited for you. I've got some really awesome things coming up, so if you're not on my list, make sure you get on there. It's the hangout.joelnk.com/12 days of sales. That'll get you on there. Not only will you get on my list, but you get to have first crack at this really cool thing I've got coming up. And you get to know the tips and like some really cool things that I do. So I'm trying not to be cold, but it's a little cold out here. So anyways, let's get to the tip today. And if you haven't seen any of the graphics, if you're not on my list, then you don't know. And today's tip, though, is connections in sales. And this tip is going to seem like common sense. However, so many people forget about it all at the same time. Let me tell you a couple different stories and see if this sounds like anything that you're doing. For me, I'll tell you a personal story. When I first started in the business, in the direct sales business, I started when I was 19. I've been in and out of the business since then. I won't tell you my age now, but you can probably guess. Been in and out of the business since I was 19. And I will tell you, I was one of those people for the longest time that I would just throw the business in your face. Like, if you were my mom, my dad, my cousins, my friends, all this kind of good stuff, like I would just throw the business in your face. Like, oh my God, you have to know about this. We're going to make like $10,000 worth of money and you have to be in this with me, blah, 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 blah. Does that sound like anybody you know? Or does it sound like yourself? And really, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I thought I was excited. I wanted to promote the business. And I wanted people to get into this venture with me because I thought they could make money too. When in fact, I was probably burning more bridges than I wanted to. So, and of course, I've hopped around. I don't anymore because I know that's bad. But, you know, for those years, the formidable years, if you will, for my businesses, it just doesn't. I would do that off and on all the time, and my poor mom would get really agitated. I mean, she would try to support me however she could, but I could tell like she was just getting annoyed. Like, Jolene, I don't think I need this, but I will do it anyway because I'm your daughter and I love you, right? And I remember once or twice I would even try to push the business on her, and she just kind of gave me the mom look, you know, the kind of stop it look, you know. So with that, when I found the marketing community that I'm in now, I learned that basically everything that I was doing as far as connection wise was wrong. And it's so funny because, as most of y'all know that follow me, I'm in corporate sales. And so I know what to do. But for some reason, it's like I had amnesia about what to do, and I just needed to go after the business, you know? So with that, like I said, I'm cold, so I'm sorry if I keep on adjusting. With that, I want to tell y'all some of the things that I see about making connections that are good and that are bad. And I want to see if these are any of y'all, especially the bad stuff, the cons. especially here on social media, because I think it's really easy to quote unquote get amnesia about what you need to do in order to successfully build your business. And one of the things I want to talk about right now is when I connect with somebody, and I truly want to connect with people. Like, I don't have an agenda unless a door is opened up for me. And I'll tell you that straight out. You should feel the same way. You know, Facebook, I think, has what? Something like 1 billion people on here. And there's so many prospects and so many people to meet. But remember that not everybody is going to be correct for your business. As much as you want them to be, they're not. So you have to build that connection. And in my line of work, we always say that friends buy from friends. And that is true to a certain extent. However, is what you're selling, you know, when you're talking to somebody and you're trying to figure out whether or not they're a good fit for either your business or your product, are you actually taking the time to figure out what their problems are? Are you actually taking the time to figure out if what you're offering is really a good fit for their business? And I'm sure you've had some times before, some people that you've connected with that you would think would be amazing for either being a business partner or your product, and they just kind of look at you like you've gone crazy. Patience is a virtue when it comes to this, by the way. So you need to make sure that you're going to be okay, which is kind of saying, okay, cool, that's fine. Let's put this on the back burner. Let's keep on talking. They're like, you know, let's build this rapport. Let's build this relationship. And then maybe there'll be a time where you come back in with either your business or your product. Shoving those two things, either your business or your product, down any connection's throat, whether it be friends, family, people you meet on the internet, co-workers, anything like that, that's not cool. It's really not cool, and it turns off so many people, and it's almost like you want to make people feel bad for not joining your business and or not wanting to buy your product. Guys, think about it. When you walk into Walmart, Target, your local grocery store, whatever, you know, how would you feel if every 5 seconds somebody was around the corner, like pushing something in your face? As far as, here, you need to buy this cereal, it's so good for you. Or, here, you need to buy this skincare, it's just amazing. Or, here, you need to buy this brand of milk because this is what you need. That's kind of the way this is, you know, that's kind of the way the direct sales business is. We're kind of a larger group, but what you have to offer isn't going to be for everybody. So be okay with that. And in fact, that's probably another tip, is be okay with people not wanting your offer. It's going to happen. And believe me, I have been rejected more times than I've gotten yeses. But that's okay, because I've found the people that want to work with me. I have found the people that want to have my product and that are going to be repeat customers. Isn't it going to totally suck if you put your time and your money into making a connection with somebody and you kind of force your product on them, and then not only do you not get a repeat customer, but then you either get blocked on Facebook or these people never want to talk to you again? You've completely lost rapport. So when we talk about connections, you have to make this personal. One of the things that I do as far as connections are concerned, if somebody sends me a friend request, I really like to have them send me a message first. That's just a personal preference of mine, because I want to know that they've taken the 2 seconds to go to my profile and look at it and see if I'm the right person to even friends with. That's cool that we may have mutual friends, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be a good connection. And I'm sure you have people like that in your real life, where you run in the same circle, but they're not necessarily connected to you. And it's not somebody that you feel comfortable being connected with, you know what I mean? So you have to think about connections in that way, especially on social media, because it's really easy to find out hobbies, interests, what they like, those type of things, and see if they're really going to be a connection for you. Also, and I've talked about this before earlier, but honestly, take the time. patience is a virtue in the connections process. So if you don't have patience and you automatically spam me your link, or you're spamming your friends your link, that is an automatic no-no. And more than likely, I will just be like, hey, thanks for the offer, I appreciate it, and then move on. So hopefully this kind of made a little bit of sense today. Like I said, connections, I think this is one of those things, again, like yesterday, that I could probably go on and on about and spew a tangent, but I'm not, because that would take a lot of energy. So, but just kind of think about the connections you're making, because the more you connect, the more you can actually end up marketing to them, and the more sales you end up getting because you've marketed to them correctly. So, hope you got some value out of this today. If you did, make sure you like, comment, share, all that kind of good stuff. I know I'll be sharing to a couple of different groups I belong to. I think this is something everybody needs to hear, and something that everybody needs to start to adhering to, especially in the direct sales network marketing industry, because so many people have this tendency to want to go ahead and spam their link. And one more thought before I go about the spamming of the links. And I've heard this around a couple of different times, and honestly, it's true. When we talk about connections and we talk about making real connections, you got to think about this as almost being on a first date. You're trying to figure out your prospect. You're trying to see honestly if they're going to be a right fit for your business or your product, or whatever program you have that you're selling. When you spam a link, or when you send a link unsolicited, let me just put it that way. When you send a link unsolicited, you are basically asking that person to marry you. Think about it that way. You are asking these people to marry you in business. So quit being silly like that, because these people could either turn out to be the perfect prospect, but you didn't ask them right, or they're going to notify you as a spammer to Facebook, and then all of a sudden you get your Facebook page shut down, and then everybody's like, what happened? Or you've just basically lost, maybe another customer. I'm not really sure. So when you just think about that, even if you ask, first off, if you ask and be like, hey, look, I've got this thing going on. Do you want to, hop on with me? I think you'd make a lot of money. If that is your first interaction with me, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. And I know it rubs a whole lot of other people the wrong way as well. So just think about it that way. Before you send a link, make sure they've asked for it, and make sure that you want to marry them. We'll just be quite honest. So again, sorry for that little spew of tangent. I just had so much to say about it. But hopefully you got some value out of this. Again, like I said, like, share, comment, do all that kind of good stuff. I will be back tomorrow for tip number 4. Remember, we are kind of taking a break on the weekends, and we will start back up again on Monday after tomorrow. So hope everybody has a good day, and I will talk to y'all later.